this summer has been really, really good. So, been doing this a long time. Really looking forward to getting this started. Probably more than any other year. It's something that as coaching staff, when we look at our team and the type of guys that we've got, much more athletic across the board. And so, with that being said, it's starting to fit our eye a little bit better to what we've been trying to get to. And we've got a great schedule to start off with. We get to find out exactly what we're made of early. We get to go to Baylor and open up there on a Friday night, which, I know these guys will be excited about that opportunity to do that, and then turn around and open up conference play with Incarnate Word on a Thursday night. So, tough early schedule. Once we finish that Thursday night game, it's on the road for a couple of weeks to UCA and Southeastern. So, by the time we finish that 4-game stretch, we'll know a lot about our team. So they're excited about it. I know they're ready to get it rolling. I am. The coaches are. It just can't get here quick enough. But we're open for questions and ready to go from now.
Terrance, if you could give us an opening statement on or your thoughts about the upcoming season.
Like Coach T said, we just ready to roll, man. Been a lot of hard work going into this process, so we just ready to get it started.
JeMarcus, your thoughts on the season?
I agree with T-Boyd and Coach T. We're just ready to see the fruits of our labors. We've been working really hard this whole offseason, and we're just ready to see what it turns into this season.
We do have microphones on the floor, so if you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll get you a microphone and introduce yourself and your news agency.
Hello, I'm Kanan Cowell with The Advocate. Winning the last 4 of the last 6 games last season, how do you coach your team to not have a bad start like last season and like in the off season to have a better start next year?
Well, good. That's a good question. And obviously we didn't plan it that way, but it started that way. And but yes, we do need to get out the gate a little quicker. That's something we have discussed as a staff. When we get our team in and we get going, we'll go through that. Anything that we can do, in our camp preparation to prepare for that. Last year, at this time, there was still some questions about our quarterback. We didn't have the starting quarterback in place. That took some time to develop. I think that had a lot to do with that. And as a head coach, I hadn't really been in that situation before, so it took a little while for a guy to really step up and take that over for us. We had to make some adjustments defensively to get our guys where they were a little more productive in making plays and making negative plays. So, it was a grind early in the year, opening up with Southeastern and went Mississippi State, and then we went to UL. Then we had Central Arkansas. Tough early schedule, and then the open date came at the right time, and it gave us an opportunity to get those things flipped around. But something we definitely are addressing about trying to get out the gate a lot quicker, so we're not having to really trying to play catch up, in the last half of the season. Big credit to our coaches and our players to be able to make that transition. We switched our style of defense and our play almost in mid-season, and so it's, going to the 3-3 or the 3-4 still is part of our package. It's in our playbook. We just had to elaborate a little bit more into it. And but again, going into this year, that's what we'll be, more 3-3, more 3-4, still mixing in our 4-down stuff. But yes, we need to get out the gate a little quicker.
Okay. Well, I think as far as us getting out the gate, one of the things I realized by being there for so long, because I've been at Northwestern, this will be my 5th year, is that, sometimes whenever there's expectations going into a season or we get excited about the season, sometimes people kind of jump ahead. They kind of think further into the season, into the now. So, and we kind of did that a little bit last year and the previous year. So with the team this year, we've been more focused on not necessarily, 2 or 3 weeks in the head we more focused on the day. Then after the first day, then we worry about the next day. So we're just baby steps, taking a step at a time.
And like T-Boy saying, we're going to take everything one day at a time, and we're going to just keep grinding throughout this whole season to make sure that our start is much better than what it was last year, because it's very hard to come back from 0-5 start and to be productive.
Coach, obviously you guys want to start fast, and Baylor was never going to be a picnic, but with everything that's gone on there this offseason, it figures to be an extremely tough atmosphere. Just how do you prepare for an FBS opponent like that in the first place, and then it's going to probably be a pretty emotional setting going into that stadium when you open the season?
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. Obviously our guys will approach it like any other game. And these guys, they've played enough of these type of games to be used to it. The younger guys that will travel and that have played, it'll be their first opportunity, So last year, playing at Mississippi State, big arenas, these guys been to Baylor before, so that's going to help. They understand what we're going into. So I know that we'll be ready to play. Baylor, obviously, very, very talented football team. And I don't think that, having an interim head coach, that it will change their style of play. Snapping the ball every 12 seconds that's been their theme. I think that will continue. We're going to start planning for that day one. It's hard, in a week's time when you play that game, it's really hard to get ready for. But I think our guys will be up for the challenge. It's going to be exciting. It'll be their home games. It'll be a Friday night. It'll be a TV game as well. So, I know our guys, they're looking forward to it. But, it's just the first game in a lot of games. And hopefully we can go in it. We're not going to do any special game plans. We want to do what we're going to do, offense, defense, and within the kicking game and get better at it, and which would lead us into a conference play. And then, our conference is so tough. I mean, week in and week out, you got really good football players, great coaches. So, obviously those games prepare you for these type of big games that you go and you play. So, the thing is, it may be a little bit bigger and have a few more scholarships, but anything can happen on any given day.
Coach T, talk about these guys to your right and left as to the non-football things that you mentioned during lunch.
Yeah, to my left, Terrance has been a 4-year starter for us, and he's almost become like a player coach. He's in the office every day, walking around. He's learning from not just Coach Norton, our offensive line coach, offensive coordinator. I see him in there with the receivers coach. He's learning about that. He's in with our defensive line coach. He slips into my office from time to time, get questions. But he does a tremendous job away from the field, and has been, set the standard for a lot of our guys on our team academically. He's had great academic success, and he knows it doesn't come easy. He works at it tremendously hard. We have a great academic plan in place. Our academic center, academic folks do a tremendous job. He takes full advantage of that, but certainly is a leader to the rest of the players in that area. JeMarcus is the same way. He's a graduate. He's in graduate school now. Very proud of that for him. So, maybe we'll see him in the office a little bit more now. He didn't have to take all those classes. But, he does such a wonderful job. He heads our community service, particularly with our players. And I think we led or in the top of the conference in community service. And it's largely due because guys like JeMarcus and what he does with the community and the kids, he's always looking to give back. And it's just both of these guys have those type of personalities. And when you look at our senior class, they're all about the same. And I think that's where our leadership at this point in time is really, really good with our team.
T. Boyd, talk about that Academic Trailblazer Award and what it means to you, and how do you win something like that?
Well, when I first started college, it was a rough start, me getting adjusted to how college life was. And, after the rough start, I remember seeing the Trailblazer Award in our computer lab, and I said, one day I'm going to get that award. So, it wasn't, an over-the-night process. I had to do a lot of extra hours as far as studying, tutoring, a whole bunch of time spent at the field house. The field house basically my second home. I get jokes all the time by my teammates saying, "Do you ever go home? Do you?" They all think I sleep there for some reason. So, it's just like with anything in life, you want to get good at something or be successful at something, you got to work really, really hard at it. So, the fact that I won that award, it was very humbling, but it was very, I can't really explain it. It was just, felt like all the hard work I did academic-wise, because I'm not, the best academic student, but I said I was going to work my butt off and get better grades, and I did.
And JeMarcus, along with the Boys and Girls Club, your community service hit right at home this spring. Talk about what happened back in Monroe.
Well, during the spring, my hometown flooded and my family lost everything. So immediately, once I could get on the road, I went home and went to help out my family members, family friends, and things like that. And in my head, honestly, there was no other option. I had to go help because I would feel bad if I sat in the comfort of my home in Natchitoches and watched my family and my friends suffer. And knowing that I was willing and able to do something to help. And as far as my community service in Natchitoches with the Boys and Girls Club, honestly, it just happened. I love being around kids, and I love like coaching kids, and all my kids call me Coach Marcus, and every time I'm around them, it's Coach Marcus, teach me this, teach me that, and I love that. I love being able to instill things in children like values and morals and hard work and things like that. I just enjoy watching kids grow and watching how they develop.
This is for JeMarcus and Terrance. The league is pushing to get the FCS schedule up to 12 games like it is up in the FBS. You guys play physical positions, and by the time it happens, you'll be gone, obviously. But is that something as a player you would be behind adding that extra game to the schedule?
Well, actually, last year was one of the first years that I think we didn't play 12 games, So, it's kind of a good thing sometimes, but it also could be, it all depends because sometimes that extra game might help. But, as far as the rigors of the season, football can always be football, So once you get to about 4 or 5 games in, you're going to have all the nicks and bruises that's going to come with the game. You just got to be able to tough it out and play with it.
Me personally, I don't have a problem with playing 12 games. I feel like that we do enough to take care of our bodies, that we're built to last that long. And if we want to be a playoff team, a playoff contender, and a national championship contender, we have to get used to playing those amounts of games anyway. So I don't see a problem with it.
Hey, Coach, Alex Anderson, KTBS in the back, right here. There you are.
Bright lights back there.
I know, obviously, you mentioned the quarterback situation last year being kind of an issue for you guys. You got the transfer from ULL this past season. Can you kind of just talk about that position group right now?
Right. I mentioned it in my opening comments that we're a lot further along at that position, and largely due because of, we've acquired Brooks Hack that started at UL, and, so we got to play against him last year, so obviously we know a lot about him. But we got him at mid-year, so it makes a huge difference when you can get a guy in. He's got spring practice. He's got that extra time to learn your playbook. He's still got the summer to work. But also it's our other guys, too. Going into the year before, Joel Blumenthal was new to our program. J.D. Allman, he was young. Both of those guys needed development, played and started at different times throughout the season last year until Rivers basically became the starter for us. But Blumenthal alternated in. He's a guy that it's hard to keep off the field because of his athletic ability. He's a 4.38 40 quarterback. The thing that we've been working really hard with him is developing his passing skills. So he's really improved in that area. Came a long ways in spring. JD as well has improved. So our quarterback situation at this point in time is a lot better. We have a lot of depth there. Any one of those three guys can go in and run our offense. But the addition of Hack coming in and with his being played as much as he's played, at the collegiate level, certainly that comes in and comes into play. He won a state championship in Texas playing at Katy High School. So, he's used to playing on large stages, and he's a great kid. His dad's a coach at Katy High School. So, it's been a blessing to have him in our program. But yes, we're a lot better situation than we were last year at this time.
And Terrance, Coach talked about the difficulties of rotating in all those guys at quarterback. For you blocking for those guys, how important is consistency at that position?
It is very important because one of the main things about the quarterback position and us O-linemen who block for him is that, the biggest thing we got to have is, is faith. He got to have faith and trust in us that we're going to protect him, and we got to have faith and trust in him that he's going to do the right thing. So it's like the longer we play together, that bond strengthens. So that's the good thing about like what Coach T was saying about a lot of these guys coming in. Since these guys aren't really new, by Brooke coming in basically the middle of the school year, we've already started to develop a relationship with them. So it's more of, whoever they put in, we already have that trust and bond with them that we feel like they go out there and lead us to win games. So that's a good thing we like to go by.